The story begins with a greedy salesman named Beamsley. He makes a living by capturing animals and selling them at auctions. One day, Beamsley arrives in a small farming village and announces that the planting season has begun. He mocks the villagers, saying their animals are weak, foolish, and useless for real farming work. Then he proudly reveals his solution. Beamsley shows them a strange and rare species called thorophants, creatures with one shocking ability. They can speak just like humans. The villagers are stunned. As the thorophants talk, everyone watches in disbelief. Beamsley claims these animals are incredibly strong and perfect for farm labor. Soon the villagers begin bidding excitedly. The first sale is a small thorophant, sold for $800 to a farmer named Simon. That young thorophant's name is Mosley. As Mosley is taken away, he becomes heartbroken. He cries out for his mother, but there is nothing she can do. 25 years later, Mosley is now fully grown. He lives with his wife Bera and their young son Rue. Every morning, Mosley wakes up early, prepares the plow, and wakes up his owner Simon. Then he spends the entire day working the fields, pulling heavy loads without rest. One afternoon, Beamsley returns, this time with his partners Skank and Ollie. During the off-season, Beamsley sells questionable medicines to farmers. With him is an old thorophant named Turpin, who carries heavy loads for Beamsley. Mosley and Rue are happy to see Turpin, since Mosley has known him since childhood. Beamsley tries to sell his medicine to Simon, but Simon grows suspicious. He asks Beamsley directly why he has really come. Beamsley finally reveals the truth. Rue is growing fast and is now ready to be sold at auction. Simon immediately refuses. Beamsley then says Simon should think like a businessman. He offers land near the farm in exchange for Rue. Hearing this, Mosley rushes to Simon and tries to explain that the nearby land is useless, filled with rocks and tree roots. Beamsley and his men laugh cruelly, mocking Simon for listening to an animal. Enraged, Simon strikes Mosley with a stone. Hurt and humiliated, Mosley walks away. That night, Barreau tells Mosley she is pregnant. Despite everything, Mosley feels happy, exhausted from the long day. He lies down to sleep. Later, Rue comes to him, excited. He tells Mosley he has discovered a hidden cave and wants him to see it. Mosley refuses, saying he's too tired and has work early the next day. But then Rue says something shocking. Inside the cave, he saw drawings of creatures like them, with hands, just like humans. Surprised, Mosley agrees to go. They head into the forest together. Fireflies appear, guiding Rue toward the cave. The entrance is hidden underground. They slip and slide down into the cavern. Inside, they see ancient drawings of thorophants standing upright on two legs, with hands. These beings are known as the uprights. Mosley is stunned. These thorophants walked tall and used their hands to work and create. Rue leads his father further inside, but the path grows darker. Rue stops and admits he's afraid. The fireflies won't go any further. Rue asks his father a powerful question. Were the uprights real or just imagination? Mosley remembers his childhood. He recalls Turpin drawing similar images and telling stories of the past. Long ago, thorophants were divided into two families. One family fled north to escape human cruelty. The ones who stayed behind were enslaved, forced to work like beasts. Their backs bent over time, their hands weakened, disappeared, and eventually became part of their legs. And that is how the thorophants lost who they truly were. If the uprights were real, why didn't they come to save us? Turpin explains that the uprights believe they are the last surviving thorophants. Some thorophants still believe that one day the uprights will return to rescue them. But before that hope could become real, Beamsley's men, along with the hunter Warfield, arrived. They captured every hidden thorophant and sold them at auction. Thinking about this breaks Mosley's heart. He starts believing that the uprights were never real, because if they existed, they would have come to save them. So Mosley tells Rue that the uprights aren't real, and that the cave drawings were only meant to give false hope. Rue believes his father, and together they return home. That night, Rue falls asleep. Bera approaches Mosley and tells him he should have gone deeper into the cave because the cave could lead them to the uprights, but Mosley refuses to believe it. He says it's nothing more than a fairy tale. Suddenly, they hear Beamsley's voice outside, trying to convince Simon to sell Rue. Simon agrees to trade Rue in exchange for the nearby land, but on one condition: Beamsley can take Rue after the next calf is born. Hearing this, Mosley and Bera are terrified. Bera tells Mosley they have no choice. He must find the uprights and bring them back, because only they can save their family. Mosley refuses, saying he will talk to Simon in the morning. The next morning, Simon tries to plow his new land, but the soil is completely ruined. Simon believes Mosley is pretending, so he brutally whips him. Despite the pain, Mosley uses all his strength to pull the plow, until it finally breaks, throwing him to the ground. Only then does Simon realize the land is worthless. Furious, he lashes out at Beamsley, but Mosley has reached his limit. He realizes that no matter how loyal he is, humans will always oppress them. At that moment, Mosley makes a decision. He will find the uprights and free his family from human control. Rue comes to his father. Mosley tells him, "I'm going to find the uprights. Until I return, you must take care of your mother, like a father would." Rue agrees. Mosley runs toward the cave at full speed. Simon and Beamsley chase after him, but they fail to catch him. Mosley hides beneath a cliff. Enraged, Simon goes to Bera and demands to know where Mosley went. When she refuses to answer, Simon locks the gate, trapping her and Rue inside the farm. Beamsley tells Simon he can bring Mosley back for a price. Simon ignores him and storms away. Skank tells Beamsley it's time to leave. Beamsley agrees, but says they'll return tomorrow, this time with Warfield, a hunter known for capturing thorophants. They arrive at Warfield's village. The villagers are furious at Beamsley for selling fake medicine, but he ignores them and heads straight to the bar to meet Warfield. Outside, a thorophant is tied up, recently captured by Warfield. The creature is terrified. Turpin approaches him, and the thorophant whispers a secret to the north. Deep in the forest, there is a sinkhole. Inside it are caves filled with drawings of the uprights. The thorophant followed those caves deeper, but it was all a trap set by Warfield. We now see Mosley moving deeper into the caves of the uprights, but suddenly, he falls into a deep pit, a trap created by Warfield. Mosley struggles desperately to climb out, but the pit is too deep. As he looks around, he sees severed thorophant tusks and broken weapons scattered across the ground. Fear fills his heart. The next day, Warfield arrives at Simon's farm with Beamsley. Simon tells the hunter, "I'll pay you $350 if you bring Mosley back." Warfield accepts and heads into the forest. Seeing this, Rue tries to run after him, but Turpin stops Rue and says, "I don't know what he'll do to your father, but you must stay here. Your mother needs you, and the calf will be born very soon." Rue understands and stays behind. Meanwhile, Beamsley tells his partners, Skank and Ollie, that Warfield has traps hidden throughout the forest, traps designed to catch thorophants. Skank likes the idea and decides to secretly follow Warfield. Back in the pit, Mosley continues trying to escape, but the walls are too high. Then Warfield arrives. He tells Mosley he's taking him back to Simon, but first, he plans to cut off Mosley's tusks. Mosley is terrified. At that moment, Skank and Ollie arrive. They realize the cave drawings were not ancient. Warfield had created them as bait. Seeing his secret exposed, Warfield throws Skank and Ollie into the pit as well, but this gives Mosley a chance. With Ollie's help, Mosley climbs out of the pit and runs. Mosley reaches the edge of a waterfall, jumping from rock to escape. Warfield fires arrows at him. Just in time, a firefly distracts the hunter, saving Mosley's life. Mosley leaps toward a cliff, but falls. Warfield assumes Mosley is dead and climbs down to check the body, but Mosley is gone. When Mosley opens his eyes, he finds himself behind the waterfall. The fall has carried him into a hidden place. As Mosley looks around, he sees 3 thorophants walking upright. Their names are Werney, Diver, and Galing. In that moment, Mosley realizes the truth. The uprights are real. Galing is very old. His memories faded with time. He behaves like a child, lost somewhere between the past and the present. When Werney and Diver first see Mosley, they mistake him for an enemy. Mosley quickly explains that he is a thorophant. Werney looks confused and asks, "Why aren't you wearing clothes? And why do you walk bent over?" But Diver notices Mosley's 4 legs and immediately understands that he belongs to the other thorophant family. Werney and Diver sit down with Mosley and begin talking. Mosley asks them about Galing. Werney explains that Galing is very old now and his memory has faded. Still, Galing remembers his old friends, the ones painted in the cave drawings. Long ago, the uprights traveled north to escape human cruelty. Galing was one of them. He is the one who led them to this hidden place because he possesses a special connection with the fireflies. Those fireflies are the reason they were drawn here. Hearing this makes Mosley happy. He tells them that the fireflies guided him here too. Diver says they believed the other thorophant family had been wiped out by humans. Mosley explains the truth. They were not killed. When their ancestors left, his family stayed behind. Forced to work for humans, they slowly changed into what they are today. Mosley then says the prophecy will finally come true. The uprights will save them all. To do that, they must go to Kinnisareth and bring back the army. Werney agrees to help. Together, the 3 of them begin their journey to Kinnisareth. Mosley feels hopeful for the first time in his life. As they travel, Diver explains the importance of fingers, how they allow uprights to build, create, and survive. He jokes that among all fingers, the thumb is the king. When Diver scratches Mosley's back, Gainling grows fond of Mosley. From that moment on, Gainling walks forward using Mosley for support. Meanwhile, Warfield searches the rocky cliffs for Mosley. He discovers the hidden path behind the waterfall and continues the pursuit. Mosley and his companions continue their long journey. Kinnisareth is still far away. By nightfall, they reach the edge of a haunted rift. On the other side lies Kinnisareth. Werney warns Mosley that the rift is cursed. Legends say the world began here. Deep inside the rift stands a sacred tree, guarded by a powerful spirit. No one who has entered the rift has ever returned. Mosley notices a tunnel leading through the rift and suggests they use it to reach the city faster. But as they move through the tunnel, the haunted forest comes alive. Trees collapse around them, trying to crush them. Barely escaping, they retreat back outside. A quiet night, a dangerous truth. They choose the longer path around the rift and stop to rest for the night. Mosley tells them about his family and how badly he wants to save them. He reminds them they must reach I.Recaps quickly and bring back the army. Soon, they fall asleep. Later that night, Mosley wakes up and sees Gailing following the fireflies into the darkness. He alerts Werney and DeVever. Together, they follow Gailing to a cliff. Gailing has sensed something. Warfield is close. Moments later, the hunter appears. Werney and DeVever try to distract him, but Gailing tells Mosley they must trust the fireflies because only they can save them now. Mosley takes a leap of faith and jumps off the cliff. The fireflies lift him into the air. Seeing this, Werney jumps as well. The fireflies carry them far away, out of the hunter's reach. Watching this, Werney and DeVever finally believe the fireflies truly possess magical power. With Warfield still hunting them, they hurry forward, knowing they can't afford to slow down. Back at Simon's farm, Turpin is teaching Rue how to work. He gently tells him that soon a brother or sister will be born into this world. And no matter what happens, Turpin promises to stay by Rue's side. But suddenly, a man arrives with news for Beamsley. Someone wants to buy his old Thorophant. Beamsley is thrilled. He orders Turpin to come with him. Rue is heartbroken. He tells Turpin, "You said you would stay with us." Turpin kneels beside him and says, "I have to go now, but you must take care of your mother until your father returns." With that, Beamsley takes Turpin away. As he leaves, Beamsley reminds Simon that according to their deal, he will soon return to claim Rue. Meanwhile, Mosley and his companions finally reach Kennesareth. Mosley is overwhelmed with joy. The city is beautiful beyond anything he imagined, but as they enter, Werney begins trying to tell Mosley the truth, yet Mosley rushes ahead, too excited to listen. Inside the city, Mosley is amazed to see Thorophants living in homes, walking freely, but then he realizes something terrible. There is no army. All the Thorophants are elderly. Werney apologizes and admits the truth. They lied about the army. Mosley asks why. Werney explains that for nearly 100 years, no children have been born in Kennesareth. Their people are slowly dying out. They are not sad for themselves, but for the fact that humans see them as weak. And even worse, Mosley and his people were made to believe the same thing. That is how humans turned them into working animals. But now, Werney says, they will stand together and save Mosley's family. Mosley has lost all hope. He says he's going back to his family because he doesn't believe they can stand against humans. Werney urges him to speak with the queen. Mosley agrees. That night, a gathering is called in the palace. Mosley notices the palace stands right beside the haunted rift. Werney explains that the city was built by their ancestors, but when a dark shard fell, the rift became cursed and the fruit-bearing trees disappeared. The queen tells Mosley that they never knew one of their families had been suffering under humans. If they had known, they would have come to save them long ago. But it's not too late. She declares that they will stand with Mosley. The Thorophants reveal their handmade weapons, ready to fight for his family. Suddenly, guards rush in with urgent news. The hunter has arrived. Everyone gathers at the gates. The Thorophants attack Warfield to protect Mosley, but they are too old. Their strikes barely slow him. Warfield fires an arrow, and Gallinals is badly injured. Fear spreads through the crowd. Mosley carries Gallin back into the palace, but Gallin passes away. Mosley is devastated. Enraged, he prepares to face the hunter himself, but DeVever stops him and says, "We'll handle this." Mosley refuses. He tells them they are too old, and Warfield will kill them. "These people are my family. I won't let them die for me." A dangerous choice. Suddenly, Mosley sees the fireflies. An idea strikes him. He decides to lure the hunter into the haunted rift and trap him there. DeVever warns him, "If you go in there, you may never return, or you may die." Mosley replies quietly, "I have to do this." The queen then tells him something crucial. Inside the rift, he will find a living tree. If Mosley can find it and eat its fruit, he will become an upright himself. Back at Simon's farm, Bera goes into labor. She is in unbearable pain and tells Rue to call Simon immediately. Gathering all his courage, Rue runs to Simon and wakes him up. For the first time, Rue stands up to him and says, "My mother needs you." Simon hesitates, but finally goes to help Bera. At the same time in Kennesareth, Warfield breaks through the city gates. Mosley begins to lure him deeper inside, forcing the hunter to chase him into the ancient garden, a place filled with towering trees. Mosley sees the fireflies again and follows them. That's when he sees it, the magical living tree. Warfield fires an arrow, wounding Mosley badly, but Mosley refuses to give up. He realizes something powerful. He is no longer afraid. He can face this hunter. A brutal fight breaks out. Warfield tries to overpower Mosley, but Mosley strikes back with all his strength and pushes forward toward the tree. Just as Mosley reaches for the fruit, Warfield shoots him again. Mosley collapses. The magical tree vanishes. Warfield moves in to finish him. Suddenly, the guardian spirit of the garden appears. The guardian strikes Warfield with immense force, sending him flying deep into the haunted rift. The rift seals itself. Warfield is trapped forever. The guardian heals Mosley and disappears with him. In Kennesareth, everyone believes Mosley is dead, but then the guardian brings Mosley back. Mosley finally understands the guardian had been guiding him all along. The spirit asks him one simple question: "What do you desire?" Mosley answers without hesitation, "I want to free my family." The guardian gives him the magical fruit. Back at Simon's farm, Bumsley arrives to take Rue to the auction. Bera has just given birth to a baby girl named Rosie. Heartbroken, Rue gently tells his newborn sister to take care of their mother. Bumsley begins to lead Rue away. Suddenly, an upright appears. It is Mosley. Bera looks up and realizes it's her husband, but now Mosley stands tall, strong, and free. Mosley tells Simon calmly, "I've come to take my family home." Simon lashes out with his whip. Mosley catches it mid-air and throws Simon aside effortlessly. Mosley reunites with his family. He gives the magical fruit to Bera, Rue, and little Rosie. One by one, they transform into uprights. For the first time, they stand tall together, smiling, free. Hand in hand, they begin their journey toward Kinnisareth.